7 years on from the Manny Pacquiao fight and Jeff Horn fight, they called him the Hornet, the way he used to swarm, and he did come forward like a wasp. I remember going to sleep that night thinking Manny Pacquiao was in the prime of his life. He was knocking people out left, right and centre. Thought, I'm not staying up for that fight. He should easily knock Jeff Horn out, or at least beat him on points minimal in a one-sided fight. I remember waking up to the shock news that Manny Pacquiao had been defeated in Australia. Fan. So I thought, I went on the Facebook chat and I was speaking to this guy. He had a Philippine wife. His name was Pablo. And so he said it was a bad robbery. Manny Pacquiao should have won the fight. He got robbed. So I said, I've got to look into this, because it's easy saying a fight has been robbed, but let's see the fashion of the fight, or how he got robbed. And I think for the first six rounds of the fight, Jeff Horn put it on Manny Pacquiao as if he was Manny Pacquiao himself. And I think Pacquiao was shook by the way Jeff Horn come out and approach, was hitting him with body shots, head shots, and he was roughing Pacquiao up. Out of the two men, Jeff Horn looked considerably bigger. He looked like he could take the shots on the chin to the body pretty well. As it went into the later stages of the round, the 6, all the way up into the 12, Pacquiao got some momentum. But I don't think he ever really troubled Jeff Horn, apart from the punch where he threw it. And Jeff Horn looks like he may be going, and Pacquiao pushed him. And the referee said slip, no knockdown. I think both fighters were bloodied and hurt. You've got to debate this. If this fight was in the Philippines, Manny Pacquiao would have won on the scorecard. So I see no reason why. I see no robbery that Jeff Horn got the decision. He's the home fighter. He was fighting for a world title. It shouldn't be like that. But that's boxing politics for you. It happens all around the world. The home fighter, if you don't bring it to him and look like you've won the title, you're definitely not stripping him from that chance. And that's the same. You're going to Australia, I think it was an open stadium, and Jeff Horn put it on the line. He soaked what Manny Pacquiao had to give in the 10th, the 11th and the 12th. Therefore, in a 50-50 fight, it should have gone to Jeff Horn. And this is a Manny Pacquiao fan speaking. I just don't think Manny Pacquiao could get up for the fights unless they were the big fights like Marquez, down the line Mayweather and things like that. He just thought he could turn up and go to do a concert after it. That's Manny Pacquiao. He had a lot of stuff going on as well, being a senator. I think it was a senator, yeah. And just he got very religious. He got very religious with things, and I think he never wanted to hurt opponents. He wanted them to see another day, so to speak, and he never really hurt him like he once did. In Manny Pacquiao's last fight against Ugas, you knew he was a shot fighter. He could take the punishment. He could give something coming back, but he didn't have the timing he once had. He didn't have the speed. His combinations weren't there. And Ugas just was picking him off with the jab. And I'm really glad that the fight never went on with the problem child. I'm really glad that he pulled out and it was Ugas who fought Pacquiao. I'm hearing talks Pacquiao might be coming back as well, which I don't want to see. I think Pacquiao should stick to exhibition fights, such as not Marquez, because that won't be an exhibition fight. If he fights Marquez, it's going to be a tear-up. Such as, I don't know, Ricky Hatton, Morales, Pereira, that type of thing. Good exhibition. I don't want to see him fighting for a world title against these elite power punchers. He's come out of boxing unscathed, really. He's had a few concussive knockouts. The worst one was against Marquez, where Marquez, I think it was the trilogy. I think this was the 4th fight. They had a trilogy, I think, and Manny Pacquiao won all 3. And Marquez caught him with a lovely shot. Now I do question Marquez's body type going into that fight. I never seen Marquez with such a chiselled abdomen. He was big on the shoulders, big on the chest, and that concussive punch was just lights out, good night. It wasn't even a knockdown, it was lights out, good night. And I remember Marquez fighting Katsides, and Katsides took a lot of punishment before the referee waved it off. So I find it hard to believe that he just got this one look punch and knocked Manny Pacquiao out. What I will say in that fight, Manny Pacquiao does come forward, and they did say Marquez was looking to land that punch all the way through training camp. But let's get back to the topic about Jeff Horn. So people didn't really know much about him before the fight with Manny Pacquiao, but he did have an unbeaten record, I believe. And he kept that unbeaten record after he fought Manny Pacquiao for a few fights later. It was only one fight later against Gary Corcoran. I don't know who he was, but I think he was carrying a record of 17-0 or 17-1. But then he fought Terence Crawford, which is, you know, there's no embarrassment losing to a Terence Crawford. So he was out of his depths in that fight. He was really out of his depths. He then fought someone called Michael Sefria. He lost in that fight. I didn't watch it. He had a rematch with the same guy in 2019 and he won. So he's got quite a decent record, but he's not been active since 2020 when he lost by TKO to Tim Tszyu. It's more like Costa Tszyu, how you say it. It's Costa Tszyu's son. Let's check Costa Tszyu's stats. Very impressive. He's unbeaten. He said he's had 22 professional bouts here. So he's 20-0, 16 KOs. Tim Tszyu. He's also Australian. Costa Tszyu fought for Australia. So does his son. And the only person that really brought it to Costa Tszyu back in the day was our own Ricky Hatton, who stopped him. So there's no shame in losing to a Jeff Horn, being a Manny Pacquiao. He obviously didn't study his style. The styles that really did, you know, affect Manny Pacquiao was styles like a Marquez, a style like Jeff Horn, and I just don't think he trained for him. I really don't. I think it was all a circus act. A bit like Mike Tyson against Buster Douglas when it was in Hong Kong and he didn't take it seriously. Not to that extreme, because Manny Pacquiao was in condition, but it just wasn't there. It just wasn't there. He was laughing, pretending he can soak the punches up, and just his combinations were off. Horn was landing with the uppercut at will, and it was a strange fight. The strangest thing about it, people wrote Manny Pacquiao off after that fight. They said he can't come back from this, and he went on to beat the likes of Keith Thurman, and he did have spells where you look like you wrote him off and he come back. But we don't want to see that anymore. We've seen him do it time and time again, and after that fight against Ugas, it's time to close the curtain on his sensational career.